Some people live their whole lives in fear of what might happen. Now, there's a fine line between living in fear and being reckless. I mean, obviously, God gave us a brain to determine what a reasonable precaution is. So, I lock my doors at night to dissuade the casual sinner from going where he should not go. But I don't have any fantasy that my locked door will withstand much. It certainly won't withstand the zombie apocalypse that is said to be coming, nor nuclear war, and nor really any really dedicated, experienced thief, right? Now, if you watch Jim Bakker, remember Jim Bakker? He's still around, believe it or not. If you watch him, nowadays he's hawking food that has a shelf life of over a year, so that when society comes to an end, you can have your family shelter all stocked and prepared to survive. Clearly, the man has a faith issue, because if you're a Christian person who's looking forward to eternal life in paradise, why would you want to survive, right? I mean, if you have to, so be it, and God will provide, but any person of solid faith would far rather go and be with God. I hear it over and over again from elderly people. They'll ask me, why can't I just die, Pastor? What is the Lord keeping me here for? And then some well-meaning family member or friend will say, oh, Mom, you don't mean that. You still have lots of living to do. No, she really does mean it. And why not? I mean, if you believe with all your heart that paradise awaits, and that soon you will be with God and with everyone you love for all eternity, well, who would want to keep on stumbling through this broken world with a worn-out body that requires 17 pills a day just to keep minimal functioning going? So, while I lock my door at night, I do not stock my shelves with food stuff from Jim Bakker, nor do we post guards in our living room with shotguns, although the would-be criminal would have to deal with a geriatric, deaf, blind Labrador Retriever and a pack of Silky Terriers. So, I do what is reasonable, and then I trust God. This applies not only to our personal safety, but also to our spiritual safety. Look again at the introit for the day that we spoke together earlier. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say to Yahweh, the Lord in your text, but when it's capitalized like that, the Hebrew word is the proper name of God. I will say to Yahweh, my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Because you have made Yahweh your dwelling place, the Most High, who is my refuge. No evil shall be allowed to befall you. No plague come near your tent. Yahweh is my refuge. And the word refuge means not only protection from a storm, say for instance, but also protection from falsehood. No one can trick me into falsehood because Yahweh has already spoken everything we need to know. And because he doesn't have a great deal of confidence in our ability to pay attention, he's written it all down in the Holy Bible. And on top of that, he gives us his holy sacraments so that we can be strengthened in our faith and nourished that we might believe him. The bottom line, you see, is that if you're with Yahweh, no evil will befall you. No plague can come near your tent. I have slim confidence in even the best deadbolts. I watch Criminal Minds on TV, and I know that no deadbolt really works that well. I have completely lost any hope in politicians long ago. Some are good, some are bad, and there's no way to tell the difference until it's too late, I figured. But one thing's for sure, we can always count on them putting their own interest first, because that's just human nature. But Yahweh is my shelter. I live under the shadow of his wings like a baby bird lives under the shadow of his mother's wings. I live in the refuge of his fortress, which he has provided me. No evil can befall me. And no evil can befall you either. Hollywood drives me nuts when they show the faithful Christian suddenly possessed by an evil demon. It cannot happen. Satan is not more powerful than Yahweh. And neither he nor any of his minions can possess me or you, because we are already possessed.
By who?
When Christ died on the cross. When Christ died it's a good question. When Christ died on the cross, he paid for our souls. It was a legal arrangement. He paid with his life and soul for our lives and souls. Therefore, he possesses us. Christ possesses us. Can Satan create discomfort? Yeah, sure. Can he cause us some irritation? Absolutely. We all know that. But not evil. He is powerless to bring evil upon us, because we are possessed by the one true God, by Yahweh himself through Christ. And you know, even though we say he can't possess us, he rarely even has to try, because we bring it upon ourselves. We invite the evil in. The President of the United States makes a decision that we don't like or with which we do not agree. Do we trust in what God says in the fourth commandment? That he placed that person in authority over us for our good and for his glory, and therefore support that person with everything we can do to encourage him to be able to do his job faithfully? Or do we trust in our own understanding and seek to undercut him and speak evil of him and secretly try to destroy him? Or say, for instance, our marriage is not as much fun as it once was. Do we have confidence in God, in his promise to be with us always, to bless that marriage that he created? Or do we make excuses about needing to be more fulfilled, growing apart, being too young when we married, and dump our spouse like a used car? See, we're the ones, over and over again, who violate the Ten Commandments, over and over again, and in so doing, invite evil into our lives. He can't possess us, but he certainly lurks at the door and waits for any chance he gets that we can lose confidence in God. But the psalmist is clear, and Jesus is clear, when he promises, I will be with you always. The deal has been struck, the payment has been made. We belong to Yahweh, and he will shelter us from all evil. We fear no evil. We have only to stop thinking that we know better than he, and stop wandering outside his tent, where Satan and his minions are waiting for us to ignore his gifts, to ignore his word, to ignore his sacrament, and to do whatever we think is best instead. Because I can promise you this: you on your own are no match for Satan. He'll chew you up and spit you out. But living at the foot of the cross, bathed in the holy waters of baptism, nourished with the body and blood of Christ, protected by the power of his word, you are invincible.